The Woodshed mystery begins by blowing my mind away, as it gives the ages of the Boxcar Children. Henry is 20, Jessie is 18, Violet is 16, and Benny is 12. That is not what the cover art shows. Why are we still calling them children when half of them are adults? Will Henry ever get a job and move out of his grandfather's house? And how is 12-year-old Benny still in grade school? Did he fail a grade or two?
Argo Font Book Review, Argo Font Book Review.
Aunt Jane calls the family, saying that she's tired of living on Mystery Ranch. She wants to live somewhere completely different. Namely, she wants to move from a ranch in Arizona to a ranch in New England. How is that completely different? Anyway, grandfather is a sly old fox, so he buys the old family farm, where he and Jane grew up. He gets the farm for cheap, because it's mysterious in some unexplained way. The book is really vague about the mystery here. The house isn't cursed or haunted, and it doesn't have a bad reputation or anything. It's just everybody in town avoids the Alden farm, and they don't know why. It's almost like the mystery is figuring out what the mystery is. The first 60 pages of the book are about grandfather buying the farm and fixing it up so it's habitable. Occasionally, we talk to the locals who give vague warnings to avoid the house. The closest we get to concrete details is when the oldest man in the county repeats a rumor about mystery person hiding in the house. The rumor is 50 years old, so clearly this is when grandfather was a wild and crazy teenager hiding his girlfriends from his parents. Speaking of 50-year-old romance, we get a fake-out mystery with Aunt Jane's teenager boyfriend, Andy Bean. They dated for a while, until he found a gun and accidentally started a fire. Then he ran away and nobody saw him again. The Boxcar Children spend a few pages wondering how the fire got started and where the gun came from, and then we just sort of forget about that mystery in favor of the Woodshed. See? Turns out that we've got a mystery stranger secretly living in the woodshed! Just like book 4. What is it with random guys hiding on Aunt Jane's property? Aunt Jane is used to it by now, clearly, because she's not at all concerned that there's an unknown person inside her woodshed. However, the kids are concerned. They think the stranger could be dangerous, so they make sure to get an adult before exploring. Yes, Henry and Jessie are adults, but apparently that doesn't count. They need to get a different adult. So they search the woodshed, and they find a secret tunnel, which was used to hide ammunition during the Revolutionary War. Wow! But enough about cool stuff, let's get back to Andy Bean. Aunt Jane says she loved him, and she wanted to marry him, but she turned him down when he proposed to her, because she didn't want to be called Mrs. Bean. No, I'm not joking. That's seriously why she turned him down. She wasn't mad about him having a gun or setting the house on fire or anything like that. It was the weird last name. Oldest man in the county casually mentions that the gun which started the fire was found inside Aunt Jane's basement. The Boxcar Children search all over and they find a second hidden tunnel inside their potato pit, which means the mystery's basically over now. I'm kind of sad because I'm not sure the mystery really got started. Turns out that the person hiding in the woodshed is Andy Bean. He's been holding a torch for Aunt Jane for the past 50 years. He went away to the Navy, and every time he went to a new country, he bought her a fancy jewel. He came all the way back to meet her again and ask if she'd reconsider his marriage proposal. And before you start thinking that's romantic, I should remind you he decided to live inside her woodshed for a couple of weeks instead of talking to her directly. That's creepy, weird stalker behavior. Oh, nobody cares. They welcome Andy with open arms. He and Aunt Jane start planning their wedding right away. Andy also has a letter which explains why the farm has a bad reputation. During the Revolutionary War, the farm was owned by the Cooper family. They wanted to keep their hidden ammunition storehouse a secret, so they avoided their neighbors. And that's it. The house has a bad reputation because the people who lived there 190 years ago were kind of standoffish. Yeah, that's not a very satisfying solution. The end. Post-book follow-up. I didn't like this book, in case you couldn't tell. The book has a hard time with narrative focus. At some points it feels like the chapters were written out of order. Like when Violet reads the Revolutionary War book to explain the ammunition in the woodshed, this happens before they find the ammunition in the woodshed. And the book also didn't know what the main mystery was. Was it a stranger in the woodshed? Was it Andy Bean finding a gun and starting a fire? Or is it the mystery of why people avoid the house? Avoiding the house was the least interesting mystery of the three, so it's a shame that mystery got pride of place, delegating the Andy Bean backstory to an excuse for Aunt Jane to get married at the end. Bad mystery aside, this book is classic Boxcar Children. There are plenty of scenes of Benny acting funny, grandfather takes control of everything for a really long time, and we hear about pretty much every meal these kids eat. So it fits in with the rest of the series really well. And if the mystery was less all over the place, I'd like it. Still, I just really didn't think it was a good mystery, so I give Boxcar Children number 7, The Woodshed Mystery, a 2 out of 10.